Your generosity is making you weak. In the game of power, the open hand is the first to be emptied and the first to be forgotten. You have been taught that to be generous is to be loved, that giving freely creates loyalty. This is a comforting lie, told by the weak to the weak. In the unforgiving calculus of power, unrestrained generosity is not a virtue. It is a fatal flaw. It is a downward spiral that ends in ruin and contempt. The truly powerful understand a colder, more durable logic. What you keep is what keeps you in power. What you give away is a debt that will one day be called in, and you will be the one who pays for it. Today, we dissect this uncomfortable truth. We will not speak of kindness. We will speak of strategy. Let us begin with a common scenario. Consider the manager who, seeking to be liked, constantly buys lunch for their team. They pay for coffee. They approve every minor expense without scrutiny. For a time, they are popular. The team enjoys the benefits. But this generosity is a fire that consumes its own fuel. The budget dwindles. When a critical moment arrives, the need for essential software, specialized training, or resources for a major project, the coffers are empty. The manager, once seen as generous, is now seen as incompetent. They failed in their primary duty, the effective stewardship of resources. Their attempt to buy affection has cost them respect and operational capacity. This is the generosity trap. The principle here is that a reputation for generosity is a prison of expectation. To maintain it, you must give more and more, until you have nothing left to give. You become a victim of the very image you sought to create. Machiavelli understood this with chilling clarity. He wrote, quote, "To sustain a reputation for generosity, you will have to be ostentatiously lavish, and a prince acting in that fashion will soon squander all his resources, and he will be forced, if he wants to maintain his reputation, to impose exorbitant taxes and to do everything else he can to raise money." The takeaway is this: your resources, your money, your time, your energy are the foundation of your power. Popularity purchased through lavishness is fleeting. The respect earned through stability and effective management is enduring. Guard your capital, not because you are miserly, but because you are a strategist. Your first duty is to remain solvent. A bankrupt leader has no followers. Now consider the freelancer who, desperate for work, gives a discount to their first client, then another, and another. They believe this makes them accommodating, easy to work with. But what they are actually doing is devaluing their own expertise. Soon, this discount is no longer seen as a gift, but as the standard price. When they finally attempt to charge their true worth, new clients balk and old clients feel cheated. They are not seen as a professional reasserting their value. They are seen as a grasper, suddenly becoming greedy. The generosity has curdled into resentment. The governing principle is that generosity, once it becomes an expectation, ceases to be perceived as a gift. Its absence is then perceived as an injury. You will be hated more for finally saying no than if you had held a firm line from the beginning. This is why Machiavelli argued that a reputation for miserliness is, paradoxically, a more stable foundation for power. He states, quote, "A prince, therefore, must not mind incurring the charge of meanness, for in time he will be looked upon as more liberal, when it is seen that through his parsimony his revenues are sufficient." If you're finding this analysis of power useful, a subscription to this channel is a strategic investment in your own thinking. The lesson is to anchor your value from the outset. A reputation for fiscal discipline and careful resource management does not make you disliked. It makes you respected. It signals that you are a serious operator, not a people-pleaser who can be easily exploited. People may not love the miser in the short term, but they rely on him. They know his position is stable, and in the long run, reliance is a stronger bond than affection. This does not mean a leader should never be generous. It means they must be strategic. The most effective generosity is that which is practiced with other people's money. A family member who constantly lends their own savings will eventually run dry, and when they can no longer give, will be resented. But a leader who wins a great victory and distributes the spoils of the conquered enemy, they are hailed as a hero. Their generosity has cost them nothing of their own. This is the master stroke of Machiavellian resource management. Be miserly with what is yours. Be famously lavish with what is not. This allows you to build a reputation for generosity without depleting the core assets that sustain your power. Machiavelli points to the great leaders of history to make his case. Quote, "A prince should be a lavish giver with what is not his or his subjects, as were Cyrus, Caesar, and Alexander. Spending what belongs to others does not lessen your reputation, but adds to it. It is only spending your own resources that is injurious." The application of this is clear. If you are a manager, do not spend your core budget on trivialities. Instead, fight for a larger bonus pool from upper management and distribute that. If you are a consultant, do not discount your own fee. Instead, find a third-party tool or service you can bundle into your package as a free bonus. You are seen as generous, but your own treasury remains untouched. This is the difference between spending and wasting. Ultimately, this all comes down to the unseen power of the word no. The inability to say no is the mark of the subordinate. The person who says yes to every request for their time, their money, their energy, is a person who has ceded control of their own life. They are a utility for others. The quiet, firm, and strategically deployed no is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. It conserves your resources. It signals your autonomy. It forces others to respect your boundaries and, by extension, to respect you. The open hand is emptied. The closed hand holds the seeds of future power. Choose wisely. Which area of your life could benefit from a more Machiavellian approach to resources? Acknowledge it in the comments below. If you wish to continue sharpening your understanding of power, subscribe to this channel and ensure you have notifications enabled. There is more to learn. Continue your education by watching the analysis on your screen now.